In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Monogram It app to create a monogram with a shadowed offset using Inkscape. And we're going to do that from start to finish here, all the way up to cutting. I'm not actually going to cut it, but I'll show you how to get that far with the design space in the Cricut Explorer. And so this is an Android phone, and you can get this app on Android or on the Apple App Store also. And so I'm going to click the plus sign and create a new design, and I'm going to create a the Vine font, I think it's called, and I'll put in some initials here, and I'll just give it some color so you can see it better on the camera. And so now that we have created that, I'm ready to save it. And I'm going to say no thanks, I don't want to make it my wallpaper. And then once I view it, I can click share and email it to myself. And now I'll switch over to the computer and show you how we turn this into an SVG file using Inkscape and add a shadow layer to it. So now that I've emailed the image to myself, I'm going to download it. Make sure you download the full file, and I'll do that by clicking the download. This is Gmail, and some email systems are a little bit different, and a lot of people will right click on it and click save as, and that usually doesn't download the full image. It only downloads the little thumbnail, which is a low resolution image, and a lot of people run into problems with that. So be careful of that. Just make sure you're downloading the full file. And now that we've downloaded it, I'm going to switch over to Inkscape. So in Inkscape, I'm going to drag and drop the file from my downloads folder into Inkscape and choose embed. You could also go to the file and open menu to open the file. So now with the image in Inkscape, we're going to trace it and turn it into a vector. And with the image selected, we will go to Path, Trace Bitmap, and we can set the scans on 2 colors, and we can uncheck Smooth Stack Scans and check Remove Backgrounds and click Update. Make sure your image is selected so that you see the arrows when you click Update, or you will not get a preview. And once you have your preview, you can click OK, and it will trace. And we can close the Trace Bitmap windows. We no longer need it. And now you can't see it, but there are really 2 here now. And so the one on top will drag off to the side, and that's your vector. That's the one you want to work with. And the original image, we can click and hit delete and get rid of it so we no longer need it. Now if I hold my control key and grab the corner, I can adjust the size down just a little bit. And I can use the plus and minus keys on our keyboard to zoom in and out. Now there's multiple ways to add a shadow layer in Inkscape, and this is just the way I like to do it. Since I already have my vector, I can go to Path, Linked Offset, and I'll choose a different color. I'll choose black. And when I chose Linked Offset, you get this little node, and you can just drag this out to make it as thick or as thin as you would like. And now with that selected, I'll go back to Path and select Object to Path. And now both pieces, my top and bottom layer, are paths, which are what are needed for design space. And I can check that by clicking on the node editor. So when I click the node editor and select each of those objects, you'll see that it shows the nodes. So I can move that back into place. Now some people like to have, rather than all the cutouts on the shadow layer, they like to have a solid shadow layer underneath. So we're going to do both options and save them together. So I'm going to select and highlight both objects and hit Control D on my keyboard for duplicate. And then we'll drag that second set off to the side. And we'll move this down here a little further out of the way. And we want to take this top layer and move it off to the side. And now with this bottom layer, I'm going to go to Path, Break Apart. Now normally, in a lot of my videos, you'll see at this point, I'll go back to Path and Union. But in this case, because of the way this was created with Linked Offset, we don't do that. We click off of it and just grab it kind of by the edge so that we don't get all these little pieces in there. And then once those are separated, you can just simply highlight and delete those. Then we'll move all this back into place. And we'll highlight them and we can group them. We'll save this as a plain SVG file. And now we'll switch over to Design Space. In Design Space, you'll want to go to Upload Images, and then Vector Upload. Click the Browse button and get your SVG file you created. We'll see that the previews look good, and we'll save it. And we'll insert it into our project. And if we right-click on it, we can ungroup it. And as you can see on the right side, you have 4 different layers. And we can choose which one we want to cut. I think I'll cut the one with the solid background, so we'll delete this one, or you can just hide it using the eyes over on the Layers panel. And when I click Go, you'll see that it cuts on the mats as expected.
If my video has been helpful to you, please subscribe to my channel. And after you subscribe, be sure to click the little gear and check this box so that you'll receive an email notification when I upload a new video. You can also help support my channel by making a small donation on patreon.com/TroyYoung.